Welcome back to Between Reps and Remedies with your host, Nina, and myself, Marcie. Today, we have a special returning guest with us as we tackle the topic of men's health. June is Men's Health Month, so we have no better way than to discuss this topic than bring it on a man. So we have Dee with us again today.
Hello, hello. How are you? Oh no, men's mental health. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. We're not allowed to do anything about it. Let's get into it.
So today we want to talk about men's health and mental health. And, someone who is actually one of our very close friends is here today to talk with us about it, his personal journey with health and mental health and how they feed into one another. Mr. D, I do have a question for you. Growing up, what did you think being healthy meant to you?
Wow. That
I
is a great
know.
question. So I think growing up as being a 90s baby, as I would call it, being born in the late 1900s, I know, I'm old. But growing up, men's health meant Arnold Schwarzenegger. It meant, the action stars, being fit, being as big as possible, being the tough guy. You were considered healthy if you were, almost like a wrestler growing up on wrestling, right? Men's health
Mhm.
and that elite status of, I'm big, I'm fit, I am aggressive. And I think there was a lot missing from that, but growing up on it, that was something that I think was shoved into a lot of people's faces. And there was a flip side to it too, because being healthy and being tough didn't mean that you didn't smoke cigarettes, because a lot of these men, they were in movies and they were drinking beers. And the ideal, or the idea behind men's health was, you're this big, fit, strong man who goes out, gets into bar fights, you work out, you smoke cigarettes and drink beer, which is, realistically the complete opposite as we know today.
So being like the alpha male, Arnold Schwarzenegger and those WWE characters.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
who I thought was like alpha male. You're a man.
Yeah,
Right, same here.
I don't know this. That was my stigma.
absolutely. That because once again, as we know, social media definitely, decides a lot of factors of how we perceive life, men, women, and objects. And one of those things was when I was younger, we didn't really have the internet. What we had was national television, and some of the biggest things going on in national television was, Van Damme movies, or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, or WWE, WWF, WCW, where it was just a bunch of very big, strong, brute men. That is the way that growing up. And when I was a kid, that's what I thought it was. That's what I thought it meant to be. It meant to be tough, strong, and almost bulletproof in a way.
Yeah, I agree. Marcy, what do you think?
I agree. And I'd like to know, do you still feel that way this day? What is
That
your
was
I
my that was my
did
question. At what age did you realize that was not what being healthy meant, was being
Yeah, no, that's
massive?
that's.
or do you still
I
think that
think
that's what
You guys, sorry, they can't see me on camera. I'm like, flexing.
no, no, not at all. So this is what I do think. I think that, every man in the world wishes that they could go out, bench press over 300, smoke cigarettes, drink, eat whatever they want, and be in their most ideal and peak fitness of their life that they could ever. So there's a very few that can genetically, and for the most part, I would say about at least 60 to 70% of men in the world are not able to do that. It's just one of those things. I don't believe that's, in my opinion, the ideal way of being healthy. No, as I got older, I realized that, the men that were actually healthy were the men that watched what they ate. The men that were actually healthy focused on cardio just as much as they focused on gaining weight, lifting weight, and doing all of those things. I think now as I'm older, and the way that I perceive health is going to the doctor, getting your lab work
Hmm.
done, ensuring that you're physically fit, right? Making sure
Hmm.
that, your health and fitness, partially in a way, or ultimately starts in the kitchen. Make sure that you're actually doing things, eating things, that you're getting sunlight. My idea of health now is personalized to me. And that's the thing. For me, your health should personalize to you, because my idea of healthy for me, based off of my body and genetics, might be completely different compared to someone else and their idea of healthy, or what it means to be healthy based off of their body type.
Agreed. Health is wealth. All right. I do have a question for you. For those who know, your upbringing was different than what most would call quote unquote normal, but what is normal, right? Were you ever taught by any adult to prioritize your health as a child?
See, that's the thing. Unfortunately, as a child, no, I didn't have that opportunity. Those opportunities were not given to me, and it's not to
Mm-hmm.
take away anything from the family that
Oh,
I
yeah.
had and the people that were around me. But at
Mm-hmm.
that time, we were educated in a way where people were still smoking cigarettes in restaurants with their children. I was one of those children that was inside of a restaurant with my family where we were in the smoking section while people sat down and ate. People had no idea of what, not it wasn't as exposed to the general public of what's really good and what's really bad for you. And also at the same time, I think that the medical aspect, I think that we've completely advanced and we've made such huge strides within, a decade, 2 decades of growth. So the medical industry has expanded. I think the educational aspect of it has expanded versus when I was younger. Yeah, unfortunately, it was more so when I was a kid, it was feed the kids a hot dog, a hamburger, let them play outside because they were doing
Mm-hmm.
what they did. And there was nothing wrong with
Mm-hmm.
that. And also at the same time, that was the normal for that day and time, right? The
Mm-hmm.
normal was you would
Exactly.
yeah, you would come home and you would have a hot dog, a hamburger, spaghetti and meatballs. These were all normal, healthy meals for the average American household, and that's what people did. Bread,
Yep.
you name it. You name it. So for that time, no, I wasn't educated, but I think that the trend was exactly what most modern American families were following at that time.
Absolutely. We even had like those gross TV dinners on Friday nights or
Oh my word,
pizza.
yes. Yes.
Or remember
So
those TV dinners you had to microwave?
yes,
Like,
Absolutely,
that was my mom's
absolutely.
thing, my
because my
mom's
parents were
thing.
like, we tap out, we're done. This is
Yeah,
fend for yourself
But
night. Good luck.
But I do remember, and maybe you do too, TV dinners were marketed as, once again, are you a hardworking mother? You are. You
Mm-hmm.
need to provide food for your husband and children after a long day,
That
and you've had
hearty.
a long day also. Exactly. They would market
Mm-hmm.
these meals as, hey, this is what's going to give your partner, your family sustenance, and it's also going to keep them healthy. It's got protein. This is
Mm-hmm.
what you should be feeding them, and it's a
yeah.
lot easier than you spending 3 hours in the kitchen.
No,
Yep.
you're exactly right, and I was thinking about that today and yesterday as I'm trying to get my family food because I hate cooking. For me, it's almost a burnout to have to cook and feed the
Mm-hmm.
people in my house. Why can't you guys just go get something out of the freezer and heat it up yourself? So, at the same aspect, it was less mentally tiring when that was the normal.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Absolutely. Yeah. If the option is there to conserve time but get the same outcome, I think a lot of people will choose that. And that's the way it was marketed was you can
Mm-hmm.
conserve time. You have more time with you and your family, TV dinner. You
Yeah.
have more time to
Mm-hmm.
sit down with your family and watch the shows that you want to watch. You have more
Yep.
time to spend time with your family. You can cook this in under 3 minutes. And yeah, it's really exciting when you market it that way, especially to the general public, because most of the average Americans are working 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day. The last thing they want to do is spend a few hours in the kitchen, especially whether you're a mother or father. You like Marcy said, you're already depleted. And,
Right.
and, and when you have to sit there and think about what's best for me, a lot of people would choose time, sleep,
Mm-hmm.
rest, and
Yep.
relaxation. And if they can do that and still put on a meal for their family, that's what they're going to do.
I still feel like we can do some of that though. Not necessarily those brands that we used to eat back in the day, but I feel like there's healthier options within the same
You,
quick
Oh,
you,
dinner
you're
category.
exactly.
absolutely. Now with the advancements
Now.
we've made, and yeah, especially in 2026, you can absolutely order yourself and your family whatever you need to keep them healthy, and it can come packaged in a nice little meal that you could put in the microwave. And now I think the times are different. Is that now I still believe that, nothing beats an at-home meal that's, home cooked. But at the same time, there are plenty of meals out there that you can curate and make and order, whatever the case is, that's going to save you some time. It's definitely expanded, and we've been more educated, and also we've prioritized as a society of getting a little bit healthier now. For the people that choose to do it, the options are there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I had someone this week just say they wanted to know, well, it's just her and her husband. And she was like, do you know of any high protein meal delivery services where I don't have to cook, but like my high protein, since you preach protein so much, Marcy, give me some suggestions. So, I mean, there's a lot of like high protein delivery services out there.
That's pretty cool,
Absolutely,
though.
absolutely, and you just
That's
need to
pretty cool.
educate yourself on them, and educate yourself. Google is your best friend in situations like this. You're looking for high protein delivery services. Google has a million of them. Type it in,
Mm.
see what you like, see what's more beneficial for you, read the nutrient facts, read exactly what they're using to cook this stuff with and pre make it for you. And
Yep.
there you go, you know?
My boss does that. I can't remember the name of the website. It's this very big brand, and she's ex-military. She's a neurologist, so she's very fit, and she obviously fuels her body. She feeds herself what is necessary, and she loves these meals. Every day at lunch, she eats one of these. Like, it's frozen, but she heats it up, and it looks good. It smells
Yeah,
delicious.
I know Factor makes them. I don't know a lot,
That's
but
it.
I know,
That's it.
yeah,
Thank
Factor
you.
does some, yeah, Factor makes quite a few meals, and they do it right. They give you high protein meals and they market it as such, and they make sure that the quantities are just what you need. And yeah,
Yeah, we
That's
had even
awesome.
a local one, just a lady and her, I think it was her daughter or something that was doing it on Fridays. She would have a Google form and you would check mark. She had three choices. You would check mark what you wanted or how many you want of each. And then Sunday, you would pick up already proportion sized in a little black container your meat and then it was two vegetables of some sort.
yep,
That's
and it
nice.
works. It's right there. It works.
Yep.
And that's a
Does
great option. That is a great option, and nobody should be deterred from that.
Right.
Because if once again, if you have the ability to get the same result with taking less time out of your day, absolutely choose it. I don't see why you wouldn't. That's
Right.
my thing. If that works for you and it's something that you're, curious about, or if it's something that you want to start engaging, why not do it? Just open up your phone, open up your laptop, start researching it, and start putting your foot forward on situations like this, because the possibilities are there. You just have to go out and get it.
This is true. I do have a question. Okay, to steer it in a slightly different direction. So we talked
Mhm.
about the stigma of like what a healthy meal was to us growing up. Do you feel like the pressure to push through your physical or emotional pain and struggles because of that stigma? Do you still feel that way to this day? Like, I have to push through this because
I
I'm a man.
think I
Mhm.
I
That's a
think
good question.
unfortunately, yeah, no. You know what? I'm gonna say it, even though a lot of guys won't. I think a lot of us behind closed doors, I think a lot of us in our minds don't want to keep abusing our bodies, abusing ourselves, and sacrificing ourselves. It's something like you said that we just ultimately make the decision to do because of who we are, and just I would say it's a mix of ego. Some of us have a little bit of ego, some of us have a little bit of pride, and some of us know in our hearts that if we get the job done, there will be a very, very positive outcome for our families, for our loved ones. And I think that weighs heavy on our heart. It's very hard as a man to be in a career where you're not making enough money for your family, or you're not sacrificing enough, or you don't, you're not giving, everything that you have, because a lot of men take pride in the fact of knowing that we provide. We take a lot of pride in the fact knowing that we protect. We take a lot of pride in the fact of knowing that we can encompass those things and give that to our family. And it goes back to nature as well. We're protective, we're aggressive, we want to provide. It's in our nature. But at the same time, I think a lot of men behind closed doors, they silently they absolutely mourn for themselves and the things that they're sacrificing. And what we do, and we always do it best, is we just close it out. I could say that every man puts it on the back burner, or we close it out, or we avoid it. We're avoidance. Men are avoidance when it comes to our health. We don't want to. Don't tell me about what I have to do or eat better. I'm not weak. No, I don't need to be doing this. No, it's my job to get out there and provide for my family and do what I'm supposed to do and make the kill. That's my job. My job is to make the kill, bring home the kill so my woman can cook it. That is my job as a man. I don't want to hear anything else. Once that's done, my woman will be protected, she'll be fed, and my family will be okay. So I think the stigma is something that it's always going to be around. I think it's lessened now that social media is more prevalent. Once again, people having the ability to make posts and also express themselves. It's opened up a door for men. It really has. And it's an uncomfortable feeling for most men though, to step inside that room and have to look at yourself in the mirror and admit the things that you're unable to do or that you no longer can do, or admit your failures. I think those things weigh heavy on our hearts. And we are trained and we are brought up in an environment, especially around other males, where it's competitive and we always want to win. That was the environment I was brought up in. So I could say, being born in the 90s, we didn't celebrate when we lost our football games or our baseball games or our hockey games. We were aggressive. We were sad about it. It impacted us, and I think that also molded us because being around other males and being in that environment makes you again aggressive. It makes you want to win, and I think that it's engraved in you as the older that you get. Even if you do it in a very respectful manner, even if you are brought up in a way where you can be confidently, I would say, competitive versus doing it in an aggressive nature, many men are still, once again, inherently competitive.
I
All
mean, I
that
think
testosterone.
right. I was gonna say,
Absolutely.
I think you're like exactly right too. Like Nita's probably seen it. I've seen it in internal medicine. I see it in dermatology. Like men don't prioritize their health or go for their screening exams more so than women. Like women are definitely more up to do all of that. Like even working with me as a health coach, like men just would rather not. So
Right. I do like see or find that men typically, I don't know if this is correct or not. Dean, you can correct me. Men typically wait until the symptoms starts or the symptoms worsen. Like then now I
Absolutely.
can't move. Now I'm seriously hurt or something's now really wrong or
right. Even then, I don't know about you, Nita, like, because you work with kids, but even as like me in the medical field that works with adults, like I see that like they could have, I'm gonna just like kind of use a family member as an example, but like they can have the biggest skin cancer on their face and they still won't come in to have it removed.
oh
I think
man.
that, yeah, I think you nailed it. For the majority of men, our mindset, and I hate to speak for all men, but our mindset is as long as it's not stopping us from our day-to-day activities or at home activities or, doing what we need to do to provide, we are not going to address it. Like you said, right? If I can go to work every day, if I can take care of my family, if I can take care of my wife, my children, if I can do all of those things, then that pain in my knee, it will probably go away. I'm not going to worry about it because I have too many things on my plate right now and I cannot sacrifice those things. I cannot give that time away because I need to continue to produce. And unfortunately, men wait until it stops those things versus actually exploring how to stop it in advance. Men are, once again, reactive and women are proactive. Women choose health a lot of times. Women go, okay, I want to make sure that I'm healthy internally. Men only care about being able to provide, being able to produce, being able to lift heavy and lift all these heavy weights and keep going hard. And if my shoulder hurts, I'm going to keep going. I might rest it for a few days, but then I'm going to keep going again. We don't sit there and try to actually investigate those key reasons of why these things are happening. We once again want to push forward because in our heads, we have that timeline we have to meet. I only have this much time in the gym. I have to get a pump. I only have this much time at work. I have to make this much money. I only have this much time with my family. I want to accomplish these things with them while I'm with them. And that is our main goal consistently. And versus, you'll see a lot of, modern women consider health beauty. A lot of women, I'm healthy. My skin is healthy. Internally, I am healthy. I am doing these things healthy. I am doing, for instance, nighttime routines. I'm going to take care of my skin. I'm going to put on my eye patches. I'm going to put on lotion. I'm going to do all these things, right? You don't catch a lot of men doing that. Women wake up in the morning and they self-assess themselves, right? You look in the mirror and you're checking out yourself, your body, your teeth, your eyes. You notice things that might actually be off because you care so much about it because your health is your wealth and your health is your beauty. Versus men, they wake up or, hey, I have this thing on my arm, whatever. It doesn't bother me. It's not stopping me from continuing my day. I'm going to continue my day. 5 years later, once again, skin cancer or whatever the case is. So those are the things that I would say and I would agree upon on the topic is that men unfortunately don't prioritize their health because they don't see it as a reason to prioritize as long as they can produce money and produce the things that they need to for their family. And until it stops that, that's when they'll address it.
Yeah. And I was doing some research for this topic today. And did you guys know that heart attacks is still the number one silent killer for men?
I was
And
thinking about
most,
that just now. I
it's
was just thinking about this.
and most, I don't want to say all of that because that's untrue, but most of that could be detected or prevented or treated
Right.
before it led to that, cause and effect.
Right. I mean, most when I worked in cardiology, I mean, your biggest risk factors are preventable, like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, obesity, physical activity. All of that is stuff, there is like genetics that play into some of this, but most of that is
Mhm.
preventable things.
And then the second silent killer is suicide. Men's mental health is not talked about enough. It's taboo for some reason still.
Yeah, it is taboo, and it's a very touchy subject when it comes to men expressing themselves, and it's one of the hardest things for men to do. You know, if I give a man an option, hey, I need you to go through your childhood and go through your past relationships and things that have traumatized you and things that have actually hurt you and made you want to cry. Or you can
Mhm.
stand outside and work for 12 to 15 hours a day. Guess what they're going to choose? They're going to go bang a hammer on something. A lot of men are avoidant to that because of the environments that we're raised in, but also each other. Men are part of the reason why men can't open up about that because they haven't normalized it yet. And at the same time, there's a huge stigma in modern America, which is that men shouldn't be expressing their emotions in a way that a woman should, even though it has nothing to do with women. Emotions have nothing to do with it. It is an emotion. Women
It's
just
human,
express it better.
human
Exactly.
nature to feel.
Emotions, absolutely. Preach. Emotions are part of you, whether you're a man or woman. Unfortunately, from a very young age, we are always, I wouldn't say we are pushed in that direction, but we neglect those things. I think, all men would be able to agree that we neglect our emotions, we neglect our health, and also we don't have the right forums, and we also don't have the right awareness about it because it's perceived as weakness, right? If you are sitting here as a man saying, I'm going through these emotions, I'm going through this, I'm going through that, it could be a very vulnerable state for you to be in around other men. And once again, men inherently are competitive based off of their environment and the way that they were raised around other men. The last thing that you want to be is vulnerable because it shows weakness. And that once again goes back to our environments and goes back to our nature. You never want to show weakness because the minute you do is the minute that you are opening up yourself for an attack.
I
But
can see that. Yeah.
one important thing to remember for like everybody is like asking for help isn't weakness. That is where the
Uh,
strength is at.
I completely agree with you. One of the best things I ever did was ask for help. That's why I'm a very big advocate for it. I'm open about it. My mental health has gone through the ringer. Not once, not twice, not three times. I would say I might think if I'm lucky enough, I can keep it on two hands. Okay. And what I mean by that is I have gone through mental health disasters as a man. And the best thing that I've ever done is ask for help. And when you do, and when you reach out and you say, hey, I am at the lowest I've ever been, I don't know what to do. Everything feels like it's crumbling. I am feeling squeezed. I am feeling a pressure on my chest that I've never felt before. And I don't know what to do. I am not finding happiness in the things that I've found happiness in before. Nothing is bringing me enjoyment. I am miserable. I am stressed out. The bills are piling up. When you start to actually open up and express yourself, that's also you attacking the problem one step at a time. You are opening up, you are giving yourself a chance to start to understand yourself, understand your mental health, understand your stressors, and then find the tools to combat them. Because life is not easy. Life will never be easy, and we will always face trials and tribulations. It's up to you to have that ability and have that strength as an individual, especially as a man, to be vulnerable. And asking for help doesn't make you vulnerable, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you whatever you might think you're going to be. Asking for help is what helps you actually be stronger. It actually helps you be that man that you want to be. And that's the secret to the sauce. Is you will never be the man you inspire to be unless you decide to truly become one with yourself. One of the few ways to do that is always opening up in a safe environment about anything relating towards your mental health.
you just basically literally answered all the questions I had coming up. Like, what help? I do. I was like, wow, you're so good. You're so charismatic. I love you.
I love you too. No, that's what it's about.
Try not to get emotional here. We know you've been through some heavy stuff. What helped you start addressing it? like, I need help? Like, was
Oh,
there a pivotal moment in your time, or was there a person who changed your direction for you?
yeah, I went to a mental health therapist. I actually,
Okay.
the first time I ever did that, I was in my very early 20s, and I was absolutely head over heels for the most amazing woman in the world. I was head over heels for her. We were young, we were in love, and there was nothing you could tell me different. I was on the top of, I felt like the world was my oyster. I had everything I ever needed. And when I was very young, we unfortunately decided to do things that we shouldn't have. And what I mean by that is we got into different lifestyles, and one of the biggest things was partying at a very young age. And unfortunately, she lost her life. She overdosed, and that completely destroyed me. I was 20 years old. I lost the first love I've ever had in my life. She was gone, and I had to come home to our apartment to her leaned over the bed. She was leaned over the bed, hunched over the bed, walked into the bedroom and found her that way. And I made a noise, and it sounded like an animal, I think. I didn't make it was indescribable. I walked in and I was scared. I was hurt. I was shocked and I wanted my mom and I didn't know what to
Mm.
do. I wanted my mom. I didn't know what to do. And I ran over to her and I grabbed her and she kind of fell back into the pillow and my mental health break started right at that very moment, the minute I stepped into our bedroom. And I went down a rabbit hole of regret. I went down a rabbit hole of hate for myself, for her, for life, for drugs. I had no aspirations whatsoever as a young 20-year-old man filled with this huge loss in my life. I lost this beautiful, amazing woman. I lost this thing. I lost my future. Was an indescribable feeling because I lost my future. I lost the kids I never had. I lost the wedding I never had. I lost the moments in bed, the conversations, the experience, the vacation. I will never be able to hold her hand tomorrow or the next day. I lost my meaning, my purpose in life. That mental health disaster lasted me quite a few years, and I went to the darkest, deepest parts of the world and emotionally, physically, and I lost myself completely. And thankfully I was and I actually I am so thankful for this. Very, very thankful for this. I was put in a situation where I was forced to open up. I was put in a situation where I didn't have a choice. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me is that I had no choice but to start communicating with a mental health professional. And it completely changed my life. And it was not easy. It was not easy. The first meeting, nothing happened. I hated her. Second meeting, hated her even more. Third meeting, hated her even more than the second meeting. Fourth meeting, maybe she had a little bit of truth into the things that we were going over and she was helping me realize that I needed to calm down. Fifth meeting, I still think I don't like her, but I guess I'll talk to her a little bit. Sixth meeting, all of a sudden 66th meeting, 122nd
Mhm.
meeting, all of a sudden now, a few years later, I am talking to someone who has given me the groundbreaking steps, that has given me the tools, that has given me the ability to voice my emotions, my vulnerabilities, the things I'm insecure about. Now I'm talking to someone when I am in a different time. I'm talking to someone in the future where now I have a career. Now I'm educated and I'm going to school, and it all started with a mental health professional, and it was the first time was in my very early 20s, and I am so thankful that I did. And opening up was one of the hardest things. Crying in front of another person was one of the hardest things I ever did in my life. And then it was also one of the most freeing things I ever did in my life. And I don't care. I'll openly admit it as a man. I cried in front of a woman. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me, was being able to cry for no reason and not be judged for it, not have to explain myself, to just be able to cry and get it out. That was pretty groundbreaking for me as a man.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Every day. It never ends. Every day is an uphill battle. Get your legs ready.
Climb that mountain.
Yeah.
That's right.
Marcy, do you have any questions? I can keep going if you want me
You
to.
can go ahead, keep going.
Okay. That was heavy. How do we follow up with that? I'm like, hold
I
on.
know that's
Like,
why I don't have any questions right now because that is heavy. I mean, and I
What
think
did you
more.
want me to do? You asked me the question. I was
nope.
open and honest
That
about it.
No,
was
Jeez.
it's
perfect.
good.
Jeez.
It's good, and I think a lot more people are in
They're going to relate
very
to that.
Yeah, of very similar situations. I mean, a lot of people don't know my background with a very similar situation. I don't talk about it. I only talk about I am not quite like D and haven't fully opened up to therapists and things about it either. I should have. So I appreciate it. I appreciate
Oh
what
yeah,
you
we
said because
appreciate the heavy.
it makes me think because weirdly enough, like more
That
so
we're all
and
human and that it's okay
that's
and
right.
that people understand that and that you're not so alone. Tell me
Right.
more about it.
I know, more so in the past 5 years have I had issues with PTSD with my past than I did directly right after my past. I think I masked it in other ways right afterwards, and
Absolutely.
in the past 5 years when I have become more fully aware of what really happened, what really went down, I've become a little bit more open with it.
Yeah, of course we do. We don't want to face a lot of things that are traumatizing. You know, believe it or not, children do it best. That's the scary part is
They're
that
Mhm.
so
children,
resilient.
children do things to shield themselves from trauma in such a good way. And you end up as an adult reliving it
Hmm.
and finally letting it all hit you at once. And that is the thing. When trauma hits, your body goes into survival mode and your body will do whatever it needs to survive, whether you're making up things in your head, pretending you're somewhere else, pretending it's not happening. Sometimes your body has the ability to completely black out
Oh, your brain will
the
always
trauma.
protect itself. It will shut it out, the trauma, and
Yeah,
rewire your brain to think other events.
Yeah,
correct.
you're
And
exactly right.
yeah,
I had met a older adult, late 50s, early 60s, who went through something very traumatic as a child, and it was almost like she stopped mentally growing when she had reached that traumatic age.
And it
correct.
happens. That's her brain and body's way of protecting itself, which
Yeah,
is leads us into the another part of our conversation here. When people don't address what's going on mentally, like their stress or their health, their high blood pressure, our body listens to every detail. You can try to hide it, but then your body's going to tell you, like, I'm lacking nutrition. You're starving me. I'm not feeling good. I'm going to give you bubble guts. Or you're not going
You're
to sleep
right.
now.
I giggle because that's me. I'm the bubble gut girl. Like,
Yeah, same here. We're bubble guts. Or
yeah,
when you don't
absolutely. Me
address
too.
things, it
Me too.
causes you to stress out, and then it causes your weight to go all wonky, and your blood pressure
yeah.
skyrockets. And I was like, how do you manage your stressful lifestyle? Like, you have such a big social media personnel, you have a private life, you work your bottom off. How do you maintain your stress?
You have to answer to a bunch of women every day.
I get yelled at by them. They yell it. They yell. They
it, it
yell.
couldn't be me. It couldn't be me.
One thing that I am very big with is, and we spoke about it last time, is if I need to go on do not disturb, not just with my phone, but with my mind, I will. I am okay, once again, prioritizing me over everyone else. And it is a very, very selfish thing you must do to ensure that you are taking care of yourself. And those that get it.
Right.
It's that simple. You only have so much of yourself to give to the things that you're passionate about. And if your passion is there for these things that you enjoy, you will enjoy doing them. Not to say that stress doesn't happen, because once again, we're stressed out, right? We're trying to be, successful on social media. We're trying to be successful with the clothing company. We're trying to be successful with our career. We're trying to be successful with our community. We're also trying to ensure that we take care of our family, we're successful with them, and that we're giving them enough attention, right? So I, in a way, kind of give myself almost like a calendar, and it's my daily calendar of what I can accomplish or how much I'm willing to give that's not going to mentally exhaust me or exhaust my body. And I don't always follow that. I fail. Why do I fail? Because once again, I am a human being. I am not going to do everything perfectly. I'm not going to always meet the time span that I set. I'm not always going to meet people's standards. I'm not going to be able to always meet my family's standards or other people's standards. And I have to accept that. And the minute that I accept the fact that I'm not always going to be perfect, and instead what I can do is love myself and be good to myself, that's when that shifts. So the things that give me passion, that give me pride, that give me purpose, I will always invest in them and I will do the best that I can. And some stressors are healthy. I do speak on this and I say, hey, and it's such an amazing quote. actually that I go by, and it's I remember I remember when I used to pray for the things that are stressing me out. I remember
Mhm.
not having money in my bank account. I remember taking the bus every day. I remember not having enough to take somebody out to eat. I remember that.
Mhm.
And I remember every night I would go to bed, I'm going to fucking do this. I'm going to get educated. I'm going to I'm going to get this trade. I am going to do this. I'm going to that. I am going to ensure that I am going to be the best version of myself that I can be. But on the flip side of that, you are going to have healthy stressors from it. And you have to be okay managing those things and coping with them, and not just coping with them, but having the tools in your little tool bag to once again fix or adapt to these situations. Because if you don't, you will melt in it. If you allow
Mm.
yourself to be stuck on one problem and all you see is the problem instead of seeing how you can come up with solutions, you will melt into the problem. You will make no progress. The only way to make progress is to come and approach anything in life with a healthy mindset, with motivation, and with the willingness to be humble enough to listen to others' opinions, take those and try to move forward successfully in life. And that's what I try to do is I do a little bit of management with DLC. I work with a lot of people, a lot of moderators. I work with a lot of social media ambassadors and small businesses. So what I do is I try to always say, and I said it today when I was talking to my moderators, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. As long as the tree is growing, it will extend branches. So even though we might have small problems here and there, it may not always rain when we want it to, we may not always be fruitful, as long as we stay consistent and we do these things with our passion forward, right? Passion forward. You want your passion in front of you. You see it, you love it, you want to do something with it, and you want it to blossom. It's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, what I do is a little bit of management and I try to put my best foot forward. And I've accepted the fact that people aren't always going to agree with the decisions that I make. But as long as those decisions are fruitful in its entirety, for the majority of people in DLC, the majority of people that do the clothing line, for the majority of people that work with me on my socials and also my family and all of those things, then I am okay accepting that because I can go to bed knowing that I put in a good day's work. Not every day has to be a hard day's work. Not every day is going to be an easy day's work, but I put in a good day's work, which means that I have accomplished something that is going to be fruitful for my future. Thank you.
I'm going to need you to send us a voice memo of positive affirmations every morning, please, and thank
Right.
you. I was
Right.
like,
Absolutely.
so you're nodding. I'm like, man, this resonates with me. Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
it's a very weird thing when you start becoming selfish because there's a fine line. And I teeter that line because I deal with hundreds of people a day on social media, let alone in my life in person. I deal with hundreds of people a day. So I always say that it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to prioritize yourself, but do it in a way where it's fruitful for you and beneficial for the things that you are invested in and the things that you're passionate about. And the things that I'm passionate about consist of other people. They consist of the community, the clothing company, my live content that I do on social media, all of those things. But you have to be okay with being selfish. You have to make sure that the things that you're doing have purpose and they also have rewards. And the rewards could be physical, they could be emotional, they could be monetary, they could be anything that you enjoy. So if you're doing something with passion and purpose and you're getting these rewards from it and things are going well, then continue to do that. But if you're missing some of those aspects, you don't have to stop what you're doing, just alter it. And that's what I do. I make little alterations, and the little alterations are ripples. They're little ripples that most people wouldn't notice, or it doesn't affect people in a grave way that benefits a whole community, that benefits a whole business, that benefits people, including myself.
Well,
And
you know
that
what
is
they
the part where
say.
you need to be selfish. You need to be
Yeah.
selfish in a way where you make decisions that are beneficial for you, but you do it in a way where you are not putting others down and you're not hurting others. And there might be a day that you have to do that too, and you have to be okay with that. And I'm not saying that you should go out and make a decision to destroy someone's life. But if a decision that you have to make unfortunately burdens someone else and there is no other course of action and you've depleted every resource that you can, and this is the best decision for you, your family, your health, your mental health, I will make that decision for me because that is the hard part about being selfish is
Mm.
you sacrifice all the time, but sometimes you have to be selfish for you so that you can continue to sacrifice as an individual and a man in my position. So most of the time I'm sacrificing. That's what people don't see. They don't see that when I'm on social media. They don't see that every single day. They don't see that with the posts. They don't see that in the live content. But my job is to sacrifice as much as I can to benefit the people around me that I care about and the things that are going to bring me safety, security, passion, purpose, progress. And then every now and then I have to be selfish to ensure that I can continue to do that as a man. And that's where a lot of men's mindsets are built at.
I feel like more people should be selfish with
Yeah.
their time, with their health, with just taking Marcy and I, what do we say a couple things back? Like, you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of others that you love. Like, you want to get healthy for your children. Well, you got to be around to do that then, to take care of them. You need to take care of yourself, take time for yourself.
That was going through my
Absolutely.
head. Yeah, that was going
Yeah.
through my head as
And
well. And it's
that's
And
something
where
then,
we
I
falter. Yeah, that's where we falter. Men falter on that aspect because we sacrifice until the very last moment, and then when we no longer can sacrifice and our bodies are torn up, our mental health is torn up, and we've exhausted those options or those abilities to take care of ourselves. That's when we start wishing that we did something different. But once again, we live in the moment as a society. Can I pay my rent this month? Can I take care of the kids this month? Can I afford their school clothes? Can I take care of the water bill? Me and my woman want to go out tonight. I'm going to take her out. We live in the moment because time is so precious. But at the same time, we fail to prepare for our future to ensure that we can have those timeless moments in the future. We put a lot of those things on the back burner, unfortunately.
right. I mean, and a lot more women are starting to do that too. I think as like being
Mhm.
single moms, I'm seeing more and more women the same way because they're like, well, my kids come first. And I have to sit with them and be like, I understand your kids come first. But what happens when you are no longer there for your kids? Who's going to take care of them?
like, I understand that, like, as a mother, the single mother, like, I've had all those roles. At the end of the day, like, our minds will always go back to our little ones, no matter what. But that was my biggest and probably most difficult part for me was to step back and realize it all starts and ends with me. Like, I
Mhm.
have to do this for myself so I can be there for them.
Exactly.
It took
And
it took me a bit to
you
rewire myself.
yeah, and you explained it in a very, very, very thoughtful manner that a lot of people don't realize is if you truly want to, like you said, if you truly want to be there for your children,
You
handling
got
everything
it.
right now in the now and all of these things are great. I'm very glad that you're doing that. But your child's also going to need you in their 20s, in their 30s, and in their
Yeah,
40s. That is the
exactly.
truth. They are going to need you. You are the elder. You are the wisdom. You are the security. You are the safety. That will never go away. So it's up to you to ensure that you can be that as time progresses, as they become mature adults and become successful. They are still going to be calling upon you as a parent.
And
They
then
are.
eventually you're going to become a grandparent, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
And you're going to want to be able to see your grandchildren grow up as
Yeah.
well.
And and
Your
and one
spawns, mini
it,
spawns,
it
2.0,
That's
all
3.0s.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
that's right.
It all starts with that first step. That's the hardest one.
It is.
It's the hardest one. Is taking that first step, and when you take that very uncomfortable first step, then the second one is less uncomfortable.
You just gotta make that effort. Take that
That's
first
Yep,
step. That's the
that's
hardest part.
exactly.
absolutely.
This one's actually for Marcy. Marcy, I
Oh,
have a question for you. So
mhm.
we were just talking about how, like, what we don't address mentally, our body shows it physically, whatever that might be to whoever it might be. When you talk to your clients, what is something you recommend to them when they talk about their stress and like the mental health and the physical health aspect? What is something that you communicate with them to get them through it? Because I know me as a
Yeah,
person, I feel like I have to tackle master one, and then I can master the other, but that's not how it works. They
that's
feed together.
that is not how it works. And a good starting point is grounding. To ground
Mm.
yourself, may it be going out and touching grass or sitting in the grass or, doing a nature walk, but just freeing your mental mind and prepare yourself for the physical aspect that comes along with it. And something you and I have talked about in the past as well is once we get into like a good physical exercise routine, we find that just even physical activity helps clear our mental space. It's a very good outlet for our mental and health no overall. Just physically moving is good for our mental clarity.
Movement is medicine. Marcie has said it time and time again. Movement is medicine.
And
Movement
we
is
have
life. Yeah,
right. And we get
movement
It
is life.
is.
It
I
is.
think people get so nervous or so scared when I start talking physical health with them. My background is in sports medicine, physical strength training, those kind of things. And they're afraid that I'm going to try to, especially women, are afraid I'm going to try to bulk them up. Or for men, they just don't want to work with a woman coach. But your physical health is so much more than just getting a six pack or having vein popping arms or any of that. And men especially think if they don't have a six pack and these vein popping arms that they're failing somehow. But that's not what physical activity is all about. And people forget that exercise doesn't mean spending 2 hours in the gym. And a matter of fact, you probably hear me preach about it often that I would rather you not spend 2 hours in the gym every day. If we're trying to like max ourselves, an hour in the gym is, sufficient.
What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do, D, in the gym? Are you like a 2 hour
I was
workout?
gonna say he's gonna
Rawr,
come
let's
in
do
here.
it,
He's
bro.
gonna tell me he spends 2 hours in the gym, and then I'm gonna be like, "Oh,
So
brother."
so
Oh,
so so what I try to do is I try to get about an hour and 15 minutes. So 45 minutes of weightlifting and 30 minutes of cardio, but I do slow cardio. I do not do fast-paced cardio because of my age and also because of, once again, my decisions to be unhealthy is what I would call it. I'm not there yet, right? And so when I step into the gym, what I try to do is stretch before the gym a little bit, right? When I wake up in the morning, I drink my hydration packet, I take my vitamins, and I'm immediately kind of just waking up. And this sounds so stupid, but this works for me. Just swinging your arms around lightly, rotating your shoulders, bending your knees, kind of like you're getting ready to go run. You ever see someone getting ready to
yeah.
go run where they're kicking their knees up, their shoulders, they're moving their body? You might see them do this weird hip thing where you ever see a woman on the runway model? You ever see a runway model walking and her hips are swinging left to right? Guess what I'm doing in my room alone, ladies and gentlemen? I am swinging my hips, I'm stretching, my knees are going up. My arms are going up. I basically look like an inflatable, an inflatable
One
toy.
of
I'm just
those, like one of those. What are those?
Wacky
yeah.
wavies.
Yeah.
Wacky wavy willies, whatever they're called.
What I'm effectively trying to do is hydrate my body and also let my body know, hey, let's move around. I'm not saying we have to stretch hard right now, but let's move around. Let's wake up together, right? I'm doing it with you. I just hydrated. I downed a whole bottle of water. I'm moving my body around. I put my headphones in. I start my little wake up playlist. I'm about 5 to 10 minutes in my room. Now I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, you're going to kill it today. Do you understand me, man? You're the toughest. You're the strongest skinny fat dudes in the world. And then I make my way down to the gym and I get down to the gym and I take a minute, I take a deep breath. I take everything in. I focus on what I'm going to start first with my daily exercise. I make sure that all of those things are there for me to start, especially exercise number one. And then I stretch. And then I'm trying to touch my toes. And then I'm doing those back rotations and swinging my arms, right? I'm doing shoulder wall pushes, is what I call them, right? I'm waking my body up. I'm getting my limbs ready. And then I start slow. I take a lighter weight. I take maybe 20, 30 pounds, whatever the light weight of the day for that workout is, or the workout that I'm starting with. And I just start rotating movements. So if I grab a dumbbell, for instance, and I normally curl 40 pounds right now, I'm at 40 to 45 pounds when my curls on the dumbbells. So what I'll do is I'll grab a 20 and I will do perfect form curls and I'll only do a couple. And then I'll hold those dumbbells in my hands and I'll kind of jiggle my shoulders back and forth. And then I'll do a few more of those and then I'll stop, see how my body feels. Is my body okay with this? Is my body receiving this as work instead of pain? Is my body saying, hey, I understand what's about to happen. We're about to go to war. Let's go to war. And if it does, and my body says, I'm ready, I'm feeling good, that's when I will actually start my workout. So I'll work out for about 45 minutes. I'll do about 30 minutes of cardio. And then after that, I will leave the gym. Now, if I'm in the gym, yes, I might be in it for maybe 2 hours, but that's including stretching. That's including taking breaks. And if I think realistically of how long I'm lifting weights for in regards to me lifting something with my body under tension and pressure, I'm probably only doing that for 20 minutes, maybe 15. out of that 45-minute workout, I am taking rest in between. I'm taking 2 minute, if I need 2 minutes, that's what I'm taking. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to allow my body to regenerate a little bit. I'm going to catch my breath and I'm going to get to it. But once again, I am very, very big with listening to my body. If my body tells me it's okay and I have a little gas in the tank, I'm gonna push as hard as I can. But like Marcy said, not every day is a tough day. There's days that I'll walk in the gym and I will simply say, I'm going to do a light workout. My body doesn't feel right. I didn't get enough rest last night. How can I optimize today without hurting myself? I can do cardio. I can do light weights. I could do a full body workout. I can go to the cable machine and get a full body workout in 20 minutes, do 30 minutes of cardio and leave the gym and do it very lightly, very diligently. Because once again, I'm not a pro bodybuilder. I'm an average American male and I do not have a completely fit body and I do deal with pre-existing injuries. I am not going into the gym to re-injure myself. I'm going into the gym to rebuild myself every day. And that is what I've learned is I am not going into the gym to walk out hurt. I am going into the gym to walk out feeling accomplished. I'm going to the gym to feel a pump. I'm going to the gym to sweat. I am going into the gym to have self-worth, confidence, and feel good about myself when I'm leaving. I do not leave the gym holding my leg, barely being able to walk, or holding my shoulder saying, man, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come back here for 3 days. That's not working out. That's self-destruction 101.
Agreed. Agreed. Marcy, with your clients, I know you have them listen to us. What is one way you help your clients build confidence versus appearance? Everybody, when they think of health and fitness, they think the perfect body, the six pack, or the perfect lean Princess Pilates girl. How do you help them with confidence versus the appearance?
One thing I would say about building confidence is, and it's something you and I have talked about lots of times, well, me and everybody really, is meeting them where they're at and building their confidence from there. Confidence isn't happening right out the gate. But whenever I have someone coming to me and telling me, I used this analogy earlier when you can't do push-ups on the floor, is we will build your confidence to get there. And maybe starting small. Small steps are going to equal big changes later. So, we might do wall push-ups or wall planks, or one of my favorite things that everybody dislikes though is wall angels. Things like that to build confidence of
I like those.
trying to, yeah. You like the wall angels? Not everybody likes wall angels,
I
but
do. I do.
that's because you like arms. um, so these small steps equal into confidence. You have to start small. I have to meet them where they are to help build their strength level, which is then it's going to give you the confidence to go farther.
So consistency. You meet them where they
Absolutely.
are and consistency.
Another thing I try to break down for people is stop worrying about the number on the scale. People are so obsessed with their weight, and for some reason they associate their weight with that's when they'll be confident. But if I could just throw everybody's scale out, I probably would and tell them not to look at it ever again because you are so much more than the number on the scale. And I try to help build confidence that way of showing them where people come in, they're like, I'm 190 pounds and I'm just not losing any. Is showing them what is muscle, what is fat, what is water, where it's all distributed at. Because I think sometimes they'd be a little bit more surprised that they're made up of mostly muscle and 190 pounds of mostly muscle versus 190 pounds of mostly fat are going to look dramatically different.
So, like, small wins create big changes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And that's the same thing. That's the same thing with me, and it really it hurts. It really does hurt to hear this. But if you are in your mid 30s, your mid 40s, or your mid 50s, you are not going to step into the gym and get that instant gratification of the body that you want. But you will step into the gym and leave it with that instant gratification of I did something today that was progress, and I am working towards shaping and molding my body. I do not look at the scale, Marcy. That is Marcy, can we throw away everyone's scales? Please, please,
I
Maybe
Marcy,
we
would
should.
throw away
I
your
would
scale.
love
Stop
to.
looking. If you are starting your gym journey, your health journey, your fitness journey, the last thing you need to do is worry about the scale. Listen to what I'm saying from someone that has gone through 4 health journeys, went from 185 to 240, from 240 to 205, from 205 back to 185 to 205 to 220, and now I'm back down to 205. I can promise you the scale in the beginning of your journey is going to literally diminish, and also not just diminish your motivation, but have nothing to do with your fitness journey. When you are first starting a fitness journey, you are waking up your body after years and years and years of abandonment, years and years and years of neglect. Do you think your body's first instinct is to lose fat or to lose weight once you start going to the gym? Your body's first instinct is to get stronger. You are now telling your body we are in a different environment, and your body doesn't know why. One day you decided to wake up and you told your body, I'm going on a high protein diet, I'm going on a calorie deficit, and we are lifting heavy things, or we are doing cardio now. Either way, your body's first instinct is to just grow and also change. Now it's going to change where you store that fat. Now it's going to change where your muscle is. Is it going to get bigger? Is it going to get smaller based off of the workouts you're doing, right? What are you trying to accomplish? But looking at the scale, especially your first 3 to 6 months, is not needed. What you need to do is look inside of your refrigerator. You're
Right.
sitting here looking at a scale, but you haven't looked inside of your refrigerator. What are you purchasing? What are you cooking? What are you eating? That is where you start. Look at your refrigerator. That's where weight loss
Mhm.
starts. Once you're done with that, now look into workout, fitness,
Mhm.
routines,
Right.
actual workouts that are going to benefit your body. Are you going to the gym and doing 18 different workouts? Are you benefiting your body? Are you actually working out? Or are you just slinging things around? Now, it can become extremely, it can become very embarrassing. It can become something that we're insecure about. And having the gym heebie jeebies is what I will call it, is a real thing. I am one of those people,
Mhm.
especially when I had my health issues and I was about 240, 245 pounds. I looked like John Gotti, okay? Just a big bubble, a big guy, the slicked hair, walking around, smoking a cigarette. I didn't know what was going on. Literally, I'm just sweating grease, okay? It's just grease coming out of my pores. You would have thought that I just came out of a restaurant, McDonald's, working in the back, you know what I mean? And it is a very, very insecure thing to start off with. But once again, the more that you educate yourself, the more that you are empowering yourself. And part of that education is making that decision if you're going to educate yourself on fitness and how to get fit on your own, or if you're going to hire a personal trainer or a health coach, a life coach, right? There are things that you could do to mitigate this. And remember, the gym starts inside of you. You can work out anywhere. You don't have to step inside of a gym.
Right.
Everything that you need to get fit can be right inside of your home. And it
Right.
could be budget friendly. And these are the things that people don't realize because it's not spoken about. You can still get fit inside of your house 7 days a week. You can still get fit with your busy schedule, with your children around 7 days a week. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a plan, then you have execution. If you have execution, now you have results. Those results are going to be more or less coming from your body recomposition, or say the word for me, ladies, because I mess it up all the time.
Compo Now you just tongue twisted me. Your
I
body
Is it?
know.
composition.
Body recomposition is my favorite word, actually, right now. Body recomposition is my favorite word because when you first start on your gym journey, that is what's going to happen to your body after years of abandonment and neglect. Your body is going to adjust itself for whatever is suiting the environment that it's in. And when you first start on your journey, your body is going to start doing those things. So for the first 3 to 6 months, ladies and gentlemen, you do not need a scale. You need a diet plan.
Yeah, I
You don't
mean,
need to be lifting 40-pound dumbbells. You don't need to be doing 25,000 push ups. You don't need to walk in the gym and hurt yourself. What you need is a plan.
right.
How are you
Nope.
going to start?
Routine.
Because if you walk into the gym with a mindset that you are going to abuse your body as hard as you can, once again, that is not working out. That is self destruction. Start small so that you can eventually tackle those major goals that you want to tackle. People don't realize that if you haven't been in the gym in a while, the best thing that you could do is stretch, do light cardio, and start gearing up your body for the war that is going to come in the future. And when you start prepping your body for that, when you start starting off small with light weights, whether it's 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 2 pounds, no weight, it does not matter. When you start small, you build all of those, the foundation of health is built off of education, diet, starting small, being humble, and building that house that you want to build. But you need the foundation. And if you don't have the foundation, you will crumble, you will get injured, and you will never reach those aesthetically pleasing looks that you want.
Agreed. It all starts and ends with you.
Absolutely.
I had one last question, but I forgot it.
It's okay. I
I have
always
it.
mess up that word. Body recomposite. Fuck.
Wait,
Fuck.
Mhm.
Say it again.
Say position, composition, like recomposition. Like think of positions.
I just it sounds weird to
Recomposition.
me. Body
Recompos-
body
recom-
competition.
position.
Body
Recompensation.
recompetition. I'm making a new word. Body
Oh, now I'm
my
making up
goodness.
words now.
Goodness gracious, I am
Recom-
so disappointed.
Womp womp. Where's the soundboard? Womp womp. Okay.
Right?
All right. Mr. Disgraceful, I have one last question for you.
Bring it on.
What advice would you give to any man that's trying to start his fitness journey, whether it's mental health or physical health? What would be some advice you would have for any men that might be listening to us today?
No one cares. Don't overthink it. Stop
Yep.
assuming that
Yep.
everyone is looking at you. Stop assuming that everyone is talking about you. I am actually saying this to everyone. Stop assuming that you can't do it. Just believe in yourself. No one cares. There are people that walk in the gym that are 400 pounds starting their fitness journey, and they have the pride, the motivation, and the guts to do it.
Yes.
Those are the people I look towards. Those are the people that give me motivation. Those are the people that once again inspire me to be in the gym. That is the truth. When I see someone starting their fitness journey and they're like, hey, this is an uncomfortable situation for me. I am overweight or I am unhealthy or I'm dealing with underlying health issues and I'm doing the best that I can and I'm here and I know I once again, maybe, my body looks a little different and I'm here to change that. And every day I'm waking up and I'm doing this, even though it's uncomfortable. Those are the people that inspire me. So I can wake up every day and give that my best effort. My suggestion is focus on mental health. Focus on that first. Are you feeling okay? And if you're not, what are those adjustments you can make? And I can promise you one of the biggest adjustments is going to be the gym. It is going to change so many things about you. It's going to change your personality. It's going to change the way that you perceive yourself. It's going to change your confidence level. It's going to change the minute you finish that workout and walk out the gym doors. Every single day I leave the gym, I do not look fitter on that specific day, but I feel good. I'm mentally healthy because the gym doesn't happen overnight. It is consistency. So maybe on that specific day, I don't have my six pack yet. I don't have that huge bodacious chest. I don't have these huge forearms. So maybe my legs aren't as big as they're supposed to, but I can walk outside of that gym feeling confident knowing that I am treating my body in a way that it's supposed to be treated. And as all men know, you are primal. You are a predator. It's in your nature. Feed your body to the things that it wants. Your body wants protein. Your body wants activity. Your body wants these things. You just have to wake it up. And the minute you do, you become that guy. You are that guy, whether you have a dad bod, a six pack, if you're 400 pounds, if you're 102 pounds and you're trying to put on weight. The minute you go to the gym, you're that guy now. You have set a standard for yourself. You have set goals and you need to accomplish them. And the way to do it is to, once again, open up your refrigerator, check on your diet, check on your mental health, have a plan, and start executing it. Starting small is how you win the war, and the war's coming. That is my 2 cents to every single man. The war is coming, and you have time to prepare for it. You want to be the most dangerous thing within 2 miles of your house, and this goes out to all men. You want to be the most dangerous thing within 2 miles of your home, not for you, for your family. How are you going to do it?
That's a good one. I like that. Does anybody have any last words? Closing thoughts?
I want to go to the gym now.
Good. I hope everybody wants to go to the gym now.
You were like, I almost said winter is coming because you were like, oh, it's coming.
Okay, Jon Snow.
That's one of those things that, one of the hardest things, and you could put this on here too, if you want. One of the hardest things for me was the past 3 months of me neglecting my health, or no longer being on TRT for those actual 5 months when I was going through my health issues, which I'm not going to disclose. But I was eating horribly. I wouldn't say I was depressed. I would use the word I was too comfortable with myself. I got to a point where I looked okay and I thought I could take a break, and I took an extended break because of it. Because once again, movement is life, movement is motivation, movement is health, and I disregarded that. And I am back on my gym journey. I've already lost about, I think, 13 pounds right now. And it's not a lot that I've lost. You want to know why? Because I'm building muscle again. My chest is looking more defined. My arms are being more vascular now. My water intake is absolutely, it's increased, and my movement is so much better. And guess what? I'm back on the journey. I do not look the way I want to look today. I won't look the way I want to look tomorrow, but maybe in 6 months from now, maybe in 1 year from now, because it's never too late to better yourself.
That's
I
right.
may not be a pro body lifter. I'm never going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But what I will do is make the best attempt I can to be the best version of myself every day at the current age I'm at. And I will not weep for the past. I will smile for the present, the future, and what's to come, because I'm motivated, because I'm educated, and because I am showing discipline and consistency in my life right now. You come first. Be a little selfish.
Absolutely. I challenge every
Thank you.
man, every woman, every person listening this week to schedule your annual exams, go for a walk, lift some weights, eat extra serving of vegetables.
And
Um,
please be selfish with your time. You
yes,
are allowed.
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely. Yeah.
Small habits equal big change.
They do. They do. That discipline, that motivation, that, I'm no longer going to drink 4 cups of coffee. I'm going to cut it down to 2 cups. I'm going to focus on water intake. I'm going to focus on how to find alternative ways to, be better and do those things. Honey has changed the game for me. And it's actually real. I take a shot of honey before I go to the gym. I don't use pre-workout.
You know what's funny is you're the second man that's ever told me that, and they like love taking shots of honey.
It gives me a little buzz.
Yeah.
I take a shot of honey. I can't explain it. It might be a placebo effect. It may not.
I
And
don't know. Oh, I see
yeah,
this all the
no, it might be a very, very quote unquote BS thing that I'm telling you right now. But I will take a big shot of honey. I'm talking about I grab the stupid honey bottle. You're supposed to, I think, do it like a teaspoon or a tablespoon or something. Nope. I just do a shot. That's it. I do
I
a shot. I
have to
squeeze the
love
bottle, baby.
that's literally what he does as well, is takes a
No
shot of
way.
honey. Yes.
Yeah, man. It's,
Okay, I
it's
got to
just, it's,
connect you two. You guys are gonna have to
yeah,
talk.
I get like
So,
this weird. It's not like I'm drinking pre-workout.
Mm.
No, it just gives me this little tingle, like I'm about to go do something bad, and I like it.
But there
no,
is truth behind it though.
yeah, there
Honey,
is.
like
Yeah.
It's
it's
a
made up of
So
natural
yeah,
pre-workout that helps
yeah.
you rapidly digest your glucose and your fructose. That gives
Right.
you the
yeah,
natural buzz
Right.
yeah.
or
It
Right.
vibe.
Because
it's nice.
it's made up of simple carbs. So
Yeah,
those are your body's preferred fuel source during exercise. So taking a shot of honey before a workout is a-okay.
yeah,
And there's no
yeah.
crash.
No, there's no crash or nothing, and it just gives me a little buzz, and where I am on my personal fitness journey is I am not trying to be the biggest I could ever be. I'm trying to be the healthiest I could ever be. So I've been practicing not abusing pre-workout. I am very open about it. I might do a Red Bull, before the gym, and if I do, then I
Yeah.
won't do coffee later in the evening or something like that. But as far as pre-workout stuff, I haven't found the right one for me, and it gives me too many jitters. It's a little too much for me, and once again, I feel
Yeah.
better when I'm able to just get that healthy medium, that
Right.
medium point. And that's what I'm constantly searching for, is that healthy medium where I have extra energy while I'm specifically in the gym. That's going to allow me to hit new PRs, and allow me to make differences, and allow me to once again up those weights, and create more progress in a
Right.
healthy manner. So yeah,
I mean, your muscles perform best whenever there's enough carbs available. And like I said, honey is simple carbs. So,
yeah,
um,
and yeah, and I would say that one thing that you know has been an issue for me is testosterone. I actually stand by it. and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I stand by testosterone over retatrutide. I stand by it over a lot of peptides for one simple thing. And once again, I am in a situation where I was only given one vial when they were supposed to give me two. They made the pharmacy sent only one. So I had the pleasure of using it for, 2.5 weeks. And I cannot believe the difference a good night's sleep has made when it comes to waking up, feeling energized, feeling healthy. To all men, if you are like me and you are a huge mess and you snore and you have not taken care of your body, you have sleep apnea. The reason why you can sleep 8 hours in a night and not feel rested or feel better or sleep 5 or 12 is because, once again, listen to me clearly. This is going to be hard for you to digest, brother. You have sleep apnea, or you have a condition that is not allowing you to sleep properly and be well rested. You are fighting in your sleep. Your body is fighting in its sleep, and you are waking up exhausted even on days that you don't do anything. My best suggestion is find ways to mitigate it. And I know CPAP machines scares all of us because nobody wants to look like Darth Vader in the middle of the night turning over to their wife going, "Do you want to have sexy time with your mask on?" I know, man, it's a tough one, but there might be alternative ways to mitigate that. And I cannot believe how long it has taken me to realize that I have not been sleeping well because I am off the testosterone because I do take it at nighttime after I fast for about 3 hours. So my last meal will be around 7 or 8, no later than that. And then I will take it, when I'm home, I'll take it around 10 or 11. When I'm at work, I take it around midnight. And not only do I sleep heavy, I sleep uninterrupted. That is the best benefits it has given me, and it helps me sleep while I'm fasting at night. So one thing that people don't realize is if you're consistently waking up exhausted and you're eating high protein, you're getting enough sleep and all of these things, get your labs done. It could be an underlying issue, or how are you sleeping at night?
No, I love that advice though. I mean, we already covered most of this is like stop, pushing yourself off and make yourself a priority and have your health
Yeah.
checked.
I have a major problem right now. The problem is that I know I do not have any more testosterone. I'm not a huge fan of melatonin, even though I'm sure testosterone probably mimics that based off the sleep that I was getting. But the testosterone, I cannot believe just how well of sleep I was getting and the recovery benefits. I was waking up in the morning. Yes, I was a little groggy, especially in the beginning of taking it, but my body adjusted. But the sleep that I get, my body felt like a brick wall when I would wake up in the morning. I was like, okay, I did arms yesterday. I could even do arms today. I feel great. I did back yesterday. I could do back today. That was the benefits of it because I was so well rested that my body was saying, this is what we're doing. We're going to war every day. We're going to the gym. We're eating protein and then we're sleeping as we're supposed to. And we're regenerating at night as we're supposed to. And our circadian rhythm, everything about it is just working together. And now we are waking up ready for the day, ready to go to war again. So sleep, sleep, sleep. Are you getting a good sleep? Are you getting good rest? Are you sleeping uninterrupted? Do you have underlying issues with that? And have you ever checked?
Great advice.
So I'm dealing with it now. I don't have it with me. And the past 2 days, I've been waking up very tired. I've been waking up very tired. And now I know that is part of the problem of why I was feeling less motivated to go to the gym because it's hitting me now. Except right now, I still have the tools in place to be able to do it and go to the gym. But now I know something I have to tackle when I get home. And it's a very uncomfortable thing I have to tackle, but I have to figure out my sleep and figure out how to sleep better. I Guys, I shit you not. I've been on the phone all day today. This was the longest hardworking Sunday I've ever had in my life.
I so much for Mercy's self-care Sunday.
I literally, I I had my meetings in the morning for work, then jumped on the mod call. Oh no, jumped on the EV call, then jumped on the mod call, then jumped back on the EV call, got off the EV call to jump back on reps and remedies, and I still have to go live. I have not actually put my phone down for an hour. It has
Nice.
been a day. But you want to know something? I'm motivated because we had a fantastic conversation in the moderator call. And I think that we got a lot of things squared away that we want to. I had a fantastic call with Evie, and everything that I did was all progress and passion and for the betterment of DLC. And that's what I mean by motivation to do things. So fantastic talk today. It was really good. This was a good one.
It was a good one.
Well,
We appreciate
yeah,
you
Yeah.
opening up
yeah.
to us, giving us the real and the raw and
Yeah.
all that in between.
Sometimes, sometimes people need to hear it. So, yeah, I have to bid you guys a farewell. I love you guys.
Perfect. We love you.
We love
Thank
you.
you.
Love you. Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
No, not a problem. Bye.
So, thanks everybody for joining us, and big thanks to D for joining us. He had to hop off here, but of course, if there's ever anything you need, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
It's been a good one, guys.